Oh my God, the boys are at it again.
Lee Kelly and Gary Turner podcasting to the world.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the LNG Taxi Podcast. I'm Gary.
I'm Lee.
And today's episode, the question is, can you make a great living from taxi driving, and how much can you actually earn?
So we're going to talk about this me first. Now there's obviously going to be people all around the world, around this country, that are obviously going to be earning different amounts depending on which taxi firm you work for or what kind of taxi driver you actually are. Whether you be private hire, hackney, you're all going to be earning completely different money, and it's all about how much can you actually earn on this job, and is it actually going to be more beneficial for you or not.
Big questions are as well in this game. Number one, where do you live? If you live in a town or a very small community, your earning potential is going to be maybe lower. If you're the only cab in town, in a village, maybe your earning potential will be higher. If there's a lot of pensioners around where you live as well, and they all use taxis, your earning potential is going to be higher. If you live in a city, a lot more cars, but a lot bigger earning potential. Like Lee, you are private hire and you work in a small area, Formby, North Liverpool on Merseyside.
I do.
Which is, you got about how many cars you do have in your system?
Ooh, got about say 40 odd cars at this moment in time.
And the area you cover your radius is about what, 20-mile radius?
I'd say about 20-mile radius. I mean, we can go as far as Southport, and then we can, obviously, if people are booking for us, we can actually go into Liverpool and pick them up from Liverpool too.
So again, now also, you have a school contract as well.
I do have a school contract.
Now, how many days is your contract on?
5 days a week, twice a day.
And roughly how much is your contract worth to you a week?
Well, let's just go with that, but it's enough for me to cover me bus payments.
So your contract payments cover your running cost of your vehicle?
Which
is good, okay. Now, I think if you want to maximise your earning potential in this job, having a school contract lowers your earning potential. Why? Why does it lower it? You think, it's guaranteed money.
You see, this is where me and him beg to differ on this one. For me, from a personal point of view, it helps me pay for me settle for the car and everything else, which means for me it gives me a bit of that I'm actually sort of like not having to look for me bus payments at the end of the week.
But I think it reduces your opportunity to go out and earn more, because most drivers, and if you've got a school contract, do you do this or do you not do this? Do you do your school contract and then go home after the contract?
No, I actually do my school contract and then go to the gym. See, there's a big difference. I'm not going home.
So you're not actually going to work, are you? How many drivers will do the school contract, do the contract, go home, and then wait until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock to go and do the return run on the contract?
Probably, but here we go now. This is where I'll argue the toss on this one. You could go and do that, and that's fine. But you can come back and find that once you come off your school contract in the daytime, there's going to be about umpteen cars, especially where I am in Formby. The last thing you want to be doing is being stuck in a queue with 17 cars, because you might not get a job for about an hour and a half.
And of course, you're always on the clock looking at that time for your next contract. You have to go and do the contract.
Quite right.
Also, if you work over night time, then you're hampered again because you can't stay out late because of the school contract.
Yeah, but also the fact that you just don't want to stay out late usually anyway. I mean, midnight, in Formby, there's not much to do anyway after 11 o'clock.
See, that's why working in a smaller area
is quite hampering.
Limits your earning potential. In this job, your earning potential is massive if you want it to be. If you want it to be, it can be massive.
But here we go again. This is what we've been saying all along. To do it, you've actually got to put the hours in. This ain't a 9 to 5 job. You've got to be able to actually put the hours in. Like I said, now people go out and say, well, hang on a minute, you just said that you go to the gym after you've done your school contract.
The driver...
I'm not prepared to sit in a queue with 17 other taxis waiting for an hour and a half. Now, don't forget, I can go and switch and go and do Hackney if I want to, and go down to Bootle or Southport and go and work up there off the ranks. Same problem though. You've got to be guaranteed that the people are going to be walking out the shops are going to be wanting to use you. Now, the earning potential really on the Hackneys is not really all that much better than, you know, private hire really, because
Again, depends where you are.
depends where you are. But that's what I'm saying for me personally, like the Sefton area, and there's probably going to be other drivers that will no doubt disagree with what we're saying.
Now, I used to work in a seaside town called Southport, which had a massively big elderly population, and we were busy every single day. We'd not stop every single day. The only problem was, because it was a small town, the fares were very, very low, and that was the killer. You were doing 60, 70 jobs a day, but they're all like £2, £3.
Now a lot of people say that.
150. I got a job 150. You know, do really, really well, low fares. But in a city, your rates are going to be higher because you're in a bigger city. More people use you. It's more affluent in the city as well, really, and more people are going to use you. But your earning potential in a city to a town is different. Earning potential on a private hire company, again, you know, I used to work on a massive private hire company in Liverpool, as my phone rings. So you know, in Liverpool.
Smack your
And
wrists. Smack your wrists.
And it was really busy. It was really, 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 really good. But there was 3,000 cars, and working against 3,000 cars can sometimes limit your earning potential, because you're living in a city. That's my voicemail. You're living
I've told him to put us on silent.
You're living in a city, which is difficult. You know, which you only work in that city, which is difficult. So your earning potential is lower. Now, let's flip that coin over.
Here we go, folks. The moment you've all been waiting for. You thought we just weren't going to talk about it today, but yes, within the space of 5-10 minutes, here we go. If you work for that lovely company that is the biggest ride-hailing app in the world.
Bar none.
If you go and work at Uber, obviously your earning potential is going to be that little bit higher. Now, again, I'm not an Uber driver, but there are a lot of Uber drivers out there that do complain about the fact that they're not getting exactly what they want on the job. He's going to tell you something completely different. And this is because this is the difference between a lot of taxi drivers. We ain't saying that you're all lazy bastards, because I'm a lazy git and sometimes I can't be bothered getting out the house to go and work.
That's what lowers your earning potential.
He, on the other hand, just wants to get out there, and he loves working and going out there and talking to people.
Now, if you're an Uber driver now as well, your earning potential is massive. Why? Why is it so different? It's so different for this reason. Your working area is huge. Like, I'm based in the northwest of England, so I can work Liverpool, Manchester, the Wirral, Lancashire. I can work in the East Midlands and the West Midlands. That is a huge working area. A lot of Uber drivers will work where they live, or work the private hire areas where they used to work on private hire. Uber is nothing like your bog standard normal private hire. It is huge, and your earning potential on Uber grows and grows and grows. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I started I live in Manchester now. I started in Manchester. I went to Warrington. I went all over Warrington. I went to Liverpool. I went back to Warrington. I went back to Manchester. Ended up in Halifax in West Yorkshire yesterday and a Tuesday. You know, because you get it into your brain that you're not working the bog standard private hire area. Lee works Formby, which is a very narrow working area, which will reduce down your working potential. You reduce down your earning potential quite a lot, but your earning potential is still there. Because when I worked on Phoenix, I used to work on Phoenix as well. When I worked on Phoenix and Formby, I did okay because I hit it, and you hit it hard. If you hit it hard and you do 12 hours a day, you will do okay, but you can't do 12 hours a day exactly the same hours. You can't do exactly the same shift. Switch it round, switch it round, switch it round all the time. The more you switch it round, the better it is for you. Also as well, I'm on one now. Also as well, you can earn good money. You can earn good money. Even in January, you can earn good money. But you got to be prepared to run. You got to be prepared to move around the areas. You can't stick to your local area. And if you're having a bad day, if you're not making the money, there's only one person to blame.
Jeez,
you. It's you, because this is the only job I've ever done, which really it is. What you get out is what you put in. What you get out, what you put in. If you put in the sacrifice, you will make the money. Guarantee it. You'll make the money. Now Uber as well. You can work 10 hours drive time. That's 10 hours engaged with people in your car. Engagement time is when you accept the job to when you drop off the passenger. That's engaged. That is engaged time. That's time on the app. That counts at 10 hours. Now to do 10 hours drive time on Uber, you're doing probably 14, 15 hours a day. If you do your clock, how many drivers, comment down below, how many drivers do their clock on Uber every single day? It is the hardest thing to do in the world. I will do a vlog sometime this year, right? And I will do a 10-hour a day vlog on Uber for 7 days. It is so hard, but if you do that, you're making good dough. You are making good dough. It's like, the harder you work, the better it is. The earning potential in this job is massive. Some drivers earn 12 grand a year. Some drivers earn 50 grand a year. Why? Why is the differential so big? Partly where you live, partly how much you want to put in, partly as well whether or not you have that drive and that will and that determination to succeed. Go on.
Me? Are you sure? Have you come off your soapbox?
Yeah, because so many drivers say to me, they say, "Oh, it's struggling. It's the worst day ever, and it's been so bad. It's the worst. I've been on the job 6 years, and I've never seen the January like this. I've been on the job 26 years."
1 second. What we're trying to tell you is this, right? No matter where you are in the country, no matter what you do, what we're trying to say to you is this. Obviously, your earning potential is completely different. If you're down in London, you probably have a bigger earning potential than what you do, say, in Huddersfield, for instance. If you work in Salt Lake in Glasgow, you probably have, again, a bigger earning than what you probably do with me in Formby Southport. You have that bigger area. Now, I don't know how big the Uber platform is in the likes of Scotland. I don't know.
Big Glasgow, Edinburgh. Big,
okay. And you don't know I don't know how big it is down south, round by London, because you're not in London, are you?
No, we can't do London.
We can't do London, so you're all down like on the south coastway.
But there's 40,000 drivers who go and work in London. Also, as well, with Uber, like, if you're listening to one area, don't stick to the area. Move around. So many drivers say to me, "Oh, this cross-border hiring." I see drivers from other counties, other boroughs in our city, in our towns. Good. That's great, because you can go and do it as well. You can go and do exactly what you want to do. You go, if you're Liverpool, I'm Sefton-based driver. If I'm a Sefton-based driver with Liverpool, I work loads of Manchester, I work Northwich in Cheshire, I work Wolverhampton, I work everywhere, because that is what Uber give you the opportunity to go and work wherever you want to work and increase and maximise your earning potential.
But you see, this is on the run-up to one of our next podcasts that we're going to do, because obviously with this job, it's going to have its downfalls. It's going to have the pitfalls to it, which is the fact is, don't forget, you could be sitting there all day wondering where your next bit of money's going to come from. And it's all right him at Uber going like that and going all around where he wants to go to. But for people like you and me that struggle to go out there and actually get on with the job,
Why do you struggle to go out and get on with the job?
No, if you've got 17 people in a queue and you're waiting for an hour and a half for a job, that's where you start to dwindle, and it becomes kind of sucking the life out of you, because you don't know what's going to happen next. You wonder, and then when you do get your next job, and it's only like a £2.50 job, you think, I've just waited an hour and a half for £2.50.
I'll go home.
Because there's nothing much doing.
Mentality. That's where the mentality comes into it.
But also not only the mentality, but this is where like I said, we're going to talk about this in a future one anyway. Is the fact that this is where a lot of taxi drivers can suffer with a lot of depression for this, because you're looking for what's going to happen to pay them bills, and the problem is, where's it going to come from? How's it going to come to us? And what's the best thing that can possibly be done for us as taxi drivers? It's all right him saying get out there and do the job and everything else and work for 12 hours.
What needs to be done for us?
Well, I don't know. I just think, I think a lot more freedom for taxis needs to happen.
There's
no,
there's
not a lot of firms.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying.
That is why I don't get why drivers will stick up. Okay, some drivers will stick on areas which they know and they've done it for years and years. Also, another thing as well, longevity in this job is a lot. A lot of drivers in this job have done it for years and years and years. So people come on it and stick on it as well. So obviously, it ain't that bad if people are sticking it on.
You see, I can't comment on the whole fact of Uber because I've never ever done it before, and I don't want to be going over at this moment in time because I can't, because I've got a Hackney cab, so I can't go and do it. I need to go and literally change the plate over. I need to put mine on a private hire just to go out and try and sample what this Uber life is, and seeing how much it would actually cost me in my bus to go and drive borough to borough, city to city, and if it would be very, very earning potential for me.
The best thing to happen in this trade really is opening up the areas to work other areas. It does give you that extra opportunity to earn more money.
For Uber, yes.
Yeah, and even if you're on your box standard normal private hire, if you're on your box standard Hackney, the earning potential, it's all about you and how you want to work it. So many drivers will come out, do an hour, get fed up, go home, but the drivers who stick it through, and the drivers who change their hours as well, who change it round, who don't do the same hours every day, don't come at 5 in the morning, go at 5 in the afternoon, don't do that. Keep it switching it round. They're the drivers, and there are drivers in this job, in this profession, who are making really good money. It's a fact. You think, oh no, it's a fact. There are drivers who are making really good money. There's a driver we know who has 3 holidays a year, 3 European holidays a year. He drives a cab. He does it the right way. There's a right way and a wrong way to do a cab, to drive cabs. We all have to drive a car, but it's how you work your hours, how you do it makes all the difference.
Now, obviously we're trying to say to you, know what I mean, if you're a family man and everything else, that makes the job a tiny bit harder for you, because it does. I'm a family man, so this is probably why I can't be so bothered half the time to do exactly all the hours that I'm doing, because I want to be home with my kids. I want to be home with the wife. I mean, the thing is about this job is the fact that it's all, we're saying all this about the whole money wise and everything else, but there's also got to be a family kind of thing to it, where your family does come first in all of this. The work has to come second. Your family do come first. There is a lot of taxi drivers out there, and I mean a lot of taxi drivers, again, which we'll discuss in future podcasts as well, that it is a high divorce rate as well in this job, because
work-life balance.
You are out for like I said, 12 hours if you don't get the support of the family, or your wife says to you, hey, look, we need 80 quid for a bill that needs to be paid tomorrow, and you don't have it. You can go out and you can try and earn that 80 quid, but it might not even happen. You can stick out to 12 hours and you still not might get that 80 quid. So it's going to leave you in a bit of a sticky predicament. Anyway, this is what we're saying. If you're in a bigger working environment, and please, again, leave comments at the bottom of this. Nice comments, you know what I mean? Come on, you know what I mean? We're all taxi drivers, we're all trying to do things, I'm not just doing
nasty
this.
Ones if you want, I love it. I love the nasty ones anyway. So
well, if you're trolling, at least
all
just
about
put his name
yourself.
first.
It's all about you. If you're going to make a good living, don't make excuses. Don't blame anyone else. It's down to you and you alone. That's it from this week's LNG Taxi Podcast. I've had a rant, but it's true.
It's just more like it's just been more like the G podcast today, because the L one's.
I'm ranting, but that's what it is. Work your areas. You can make good money in this. You can make good money in this. You really, really can. But you've got to be prepared to put the sacrifice in.
So until next time, folks, have a lovely week, and we'll see you on the flip side. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Like, subscribe. Got some good subscribers now, so great that, and comment down below, and we'll see you soon.
Take it easy. Bye bye.